The one and only thing you need to start building a career, if you're working in the early years sector, is a respect and a passion and an interest in working with children.
It's all about if you love working with children. It really doesn't matter what your gender is.
If there are any guys that are thinking about getting into childcare, like, do it, because it is so rewarding. Like, there is nothing there to hold you back. And if you're thinking of doing it but you're a bit hesitant, like, trust me, go for it and you will not regret it. You will absolutely love it and you'll be glad that you did it.
To be fair, if you think about men in childcare, I think there's still a lot of taboo around men in childcare, but they bring their own uniqueness to the team. Liam, who's in baby room, is very, very creative. Liam's nurturing, caring, and very gentle with the babies, and then he brings a lot. He loves doing activities. We have Carlos in toddler room. Carlos is gentle. He loves doing outdoor. He's very physical. But again, he can adjust to what the children's needs and meet their needs. And then we have Barrett in the preschool room, and he's the mature of the males in our nursery. He's very outgoing.
My mum works in childcare for pretty much her whole career, so I thought it's always been an interest in me, and I've always been around people that work with children.
So it was from when I was in college and I wanted to work with children, I was like to myself, let me try childcare. I applied for apprenticeship, and from there just made my way upwards.
I actually got into this kind of field by going into a youth club when I was younger to actually meet a friend of mine, and they didn't have the staffing. I work with all different age groups, and I think that's helped me to actually adjust to children with all needs. It gives me a good balance to represent and be that role model towards these children. When some people have difficult times, I put on a different cap because I know.
For instance, I have my key children, they'll come running up to me when they see me come in, which obviously makes me happy because I know I'm doing my job right if they're happy to see me. So just the children having a smile on their faces. I know every day is going to be different and not every day is the same, which is obviously good, keeps everything refreshed.
It's fun. Like, it's a very fun job. I like to do messy play. I like to do physical play like football or obstacle courses or even cooking. I like cooking with them.
So I think being creative is key. Babies, toddlers, preschoolers, they need that creativity, especially the babies and toddlers. So creativity could be anything. It could be like, focused activities, because that could mean outside in the garden. It'll be very creative if you're setting up obstacle courses or fun activities for the children. And it also unlocks, sparks an interest in one of the children.
With all children, there's so much happening in their life. And, some of them sometimes don't have the space, the time, just to know when they come here, they got that person as well they could trust. And I think for me, that's the most important thing. If a child feels trust, they're always going to come to you.
I think more and more men are getting into the idea of childcare. Each of them are very unique in their own way. Jamie is very sporty and outgoing and loves playing with the children outside. Debo's very creative. He really likes the imaginary play as well. So a lot of the time you'll see Debo getting into character and he's doing something imaginary with the children, which is really nice. Dante's one of our newest members of staff. He is really good with the children, but he's got the very caring side. So he comes across really caring and very nurturing, and he likes to support the children with their everyday PSED.
When I see sort of people that I've been that I'm sort of not as close with, that I'm still friends with, but I don't see them as often, and I say to them, I'm a nursery teacher now, it's sort of like, really? Yeah, because I am sort of probably a stereotypical boy in a lot of ways. I was a manager at a pub. It was one of those, I wanted sort of a job where I got fulfilment. I mean, I've surprised myself at how much I love it, really. Generally, I thought I'd like it. I didn't think I'd love it as much as I do. So I do think I've found a full-time career now.
I went to university to do a law degree, but what I found was that I was doing a lot of volunteering with children, and I thought I'll just give it a chance and see what it's like. I had the natural skills to kind of entertain children, to sing with them, and I have a drama background, so that really ties in with my role play and being silly and funny and entertaining children, and so immediately they warm towards you when you're able to entertain them.
My sister used to come here as well, and I saw how like the nursery was very good with her, like they were always welcoming, and I saw the way the staff were as well, like they were very supportive with her. And then I was like, okay, maybe I want to come here and work here. And then as soon as I came to work here, like all the staff were supporting me in my role. I feel like even over the months I've developed a lot.
I love the fact that we make a difference. I think because, you know, even if you don't notice it every single day, like they do pick up things from you, they do learn things from you. And like even little things, like you walk in the morning, you're a bit tired, you're sleepy. I mean, I have to, you know, I have an hour-long commute. Then you get in the room and then they get so excited and they run up to you and they, you know, it just makes your morning. Yeah, you walk through the door and you've got like 8, 10, however many screaming children going, Jamie! And they run up, give you a cuddle, and you're like, you know, there's that element of it.
Babies, they fall down so many times when they're learning to walk, and they don't just say, okay, that's it, I give up. I'm not going to walk ever. They keep falling down and they keep getting up. Children laugh like hundreds of times a day, laughs, giggles and stuff like that. And so you pick up certain things from children, the positivity, and like the most wholesome sound is the sound of a child laughing.
Once you get to know them, once they get to know you, like they genuinely trust you and they look up to you and they sort of look to you for guidance. And when you respond to them, when you give them the sort of the time and the affection, and they can see that, because children aren't stupid. You know, if you're just there for a paycheck or you're just there because it's a job, they can detect that. The minute they can tell that you're genuinely invested in them, they open up and you just see their personalities and you see their characters and they trust you. And it's just brilliant because you're just working with these amazing young people like all day, every day.
Every single day is going to be different. They come in and they might be a bit sad and you have to take them away from their parent. But they turn around so quickly because they're so stimulated and they've already formed that attachment. When you form an attachment and you see a child develop and you see their confidence and then they now come to you and they give you cuddles and everything, it's just the purest form of love, really. So it's very, very rewarding.
Like people need to understand that it's a lot more than just babysitting. It's a lot more than just sitting down doing absolutely nothing. You know, our role is always to, you know, develop the children, and we have a very important role in bringing up all the children. So I think that, yeah, a lot more males should come and work here, and it should be like an inclusive job. Anyone can work here, no matter your background, disability, whatever. Like everyone should be included, everyone can come and help, but we just all need to support each other. I think male and female should work together and, you know, make nurseries a better place.
Actually, the fact that LEYF was doing something about this, and there was research around, and there was a big initiative on men in childcare, so that was one of the big things that actually attracted me to LEYF. So I started my career early years back in 2005 when I went to uni to study early years. I worked in different early years settings and schools, and started in Greece, and then I moved to London for the past 7 years. I work in London, so I have started as a nursery teacher, and I progressed as in the management team. So as a third in charge, deputy manager, and now I am in the training department where I'm supporting the teachers now in another capacity. We are having the Men in Childcare Forum, where we are trying to involve everyone as much as possible in these forums. We're aiming to do even more things, starting from recruiting more men and then having a very strong network within LEYF, but also outside LEYF as well. It is a forum for everyone to participate, and everyone benefits from this, and we cannot do it on our own. We have to have everyone's participation, and we have to work together to succeed.
Well, I qualified in 1994, and my experience of the early years sector at that point was very different in relation to men in childcare than it is now. There were far less of us in the early 90s than there actually are at this time, and there aren't very many of us now anyway. Once I'd qualified, and I was actually then looking for my first job working in the early years, that's when I think I got my first experience of the misunderstandings of men in childcare at that time. I struggled to be taken seriously as an early years professional at that point. I would often be challenged when I was going for jobs with regards to, why are you going for this job? Do you know it's working in nurseries? Are you applying for your mum? Are you applying for a female relative? And kind of explain, no, I'm qualified, I'm a member of staff, I'm looking for a job opportunity. And it was very much trying to find the right place. It was actually taking you seriously as a man in childcare, which was a struggle at first until I found then Westminster Children's Society, which is now London Early Years Foundation. I have spent the last 29 years working at LEYF. I have not been in the same role during all of that time. I've had lots of opportunities since I've been here. So if I was to look back over my career, I'd say half of my career has been very much focused working directly with the children, working in nurseries. I've been a nursery teacher, I've been a nursery manager, and then I spent a bit of time working with children's services, looking at the operational side of managing nurseries. So I had an opportunity to join a training team, which I'd loved. And it gave me more opportunity to have really good conversations with the people working in early years about what makes really good, interesting experiences for children, because it's the people that make those happen. And that was a really interesting space for me, how we talk about the ways that we're supporting children's learning and development. So since then, I've just been spending lots and lots of time and lots of opportunities kind of nurturing the aspects of children's learning and development that we can shape and we can support.
Men in childcare has benefits for children, staff, parents and society. For the children, they get a broader range of learning because they have an integrated team. For the staff, it drives a higher level of communication, better engagement and a kind of different set of perspectives that actually challenges people's thinking. For the parents in particular, I think it's beneficial for dads. I think they like to see somebody that looks like them in the setting. And I think sometimes they find being able to talk to another man who understands their child with them very helpful. And for society, well, we know that actually the more inclusive the society is, the better it is in terms of people's empathy and people being recognising each other's contribution. And so to me, it's like win-win. I mean, ways to improve the numbers of men in early years are probably the same reasons to improve the status for women in early years. There's 3 reasons people don't stay or don't come into early years. The first is status. We haven't got to a point where society, and indeed the government, really recognises that what we do in early years isn't just, jumping around playing all day, but actually that we actually teach the children a great deal. And their brains and their synaptic connections are happening at such a trillion rate that actually what we do, every engagement is a powerful one. The art, craft and science of early years teaching isn't well appreciated. But when you ask men why they want to come in, it's all about that. That's the first thing. Second thing is, we're not paid well enough, and that partly reflects the government's failure to understand how important what we do is. And so therefore, even like us, I run a social enterprise, we have no dividends, everything we have is shared out with the staff, or we take more and more children from more disadvantaged backgrounds. So that's the 2 reasons we exist really, and they're the 2 ways we spend our money. We still can't give people enough to live in a city like London. And the third thing is, we don't sell working with small children well enough as a career. Men are interested in a career. They want a career that feels like they have a place to go. And a lot of places don't have that. And that's very important. And that's why you'll feel that there's many more men in schools, because they're called teachers and they can become a deputy head and a head, and they can earn some serious money in schools. And if you work in a nursery, which is even more important than a school, actually, when you think about the contribution you make to the children's development at that stage. I think that is a problem as well that we have to acknowledge. But I just want to caveat that and say it's also a problem for women. So, it's no different in one way or the other. I just think women are a little bit more tolerant, I think, of that situation than men are. And maybe that's why we need men as well, because maybe if they're shouting as well as the women and with the women by their side, maybe there's more voices, there's a louder message. People hear more.